going live. We're going live.
I think we're live.
You think we're live?
We might be alive.
Let me pinch you to see.
It's alive.
Hey everyone, while Mike is doing his unpackaging video. Oh my goodness.
We're going to see if I can actually do an AMA and chew gum at the same time.
Just don't also rub your head, pat your belly.
Or walk.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Monday Ask Me Anything with Mike Meyers and Scott Jernigan.
So I got to get the gum going.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm talking. So we gather here today to help those of us who are still locked down by the pandemic and are studying for CompTIA exams of all sorts. To basically, you ask us questions and we give you answers. And if we don't know the answers, we find out and tell you on the next show.
Or we make them up.
We don't do that. No matter how much technobabble all techs want to give, we don't do it here. This is a technobabble free zone.
The desire for technobabble in me is still great.
It is great, yes, I know. Yeah. So we specialize in IT fundamentals, CompTIA A+, Network Plus, and Security Plus, but we can certainly go farther afield into general tech, into all sorts of other stuff. Total Seminars, our parent company, Mike Meyers, president, me, editor-in-chief, also has a bunch of certification stuff for things like AWS and Cloud Plus and blah, blah, blah. So we can do all kinds of stuff.
I love the blah, blah, blah certification.
Mm-hmm.
No.
The blah, blah, blah is good.
Yeah, but when they have to update it, then it's the blah, 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 blah certification. It sounded good in the whiteboard of my humor design in my brain. Robin Williams did a hilarious thing on that years ago, and it's like how he makes humor, and then he's like in his brain, and he's doing, okay, fire the joke. Joke's fired. Oh my God, they hate it. Quick, reload. Yeah, so.
Blah, blah, plus. Yes, thank you, Telewit.
Blah, 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 blah.
Blah, blah, plus.
Blah, blah, plus. Oh, look, Patricia Grace was right behind him. Told him
Nice.
It's like gum and coffee. Why not?
Why
it's
not?
Not just for breakfast anymore.
True that.
All right, so folks, basically here's how this works. It's always so few people when we first get started. I always want to talk slower.
We can talk very
Anyway, so basically, in order to ask questions, all you do is type them into the chat window here on YouTube. We'd recommend that you go ahead and pop out your chat window, which I'm going to do right now. And you'll notice that it's on top chat. Hit the pull down and move it to live chat. Somebody told me what top chat is, and I don't care. So
Top chat automatically censors certain posts. For some reason, subnetting gets censored.
it's because you get confused and you start cursing. You're like, whack
okay.
27. Like
YouTube's like, delete, delete, delete.
Oh, we must. Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, and also the little three dots in the top right corner of the chat window, you can access to turn on the timestamp. That way, because we're always behind the question answering, and so we'll say what time we're looking at, so you can see if we skipped your question.
Yeah, so it just allows us to keep it up. So all you do is type in your questions, and then we will get to them. Sometimes it takes us a while, but we get there. If we haven't answered your question in a timely basis, just post it again. It's no big deal. I mean, don't post it 8 times. We'll get to it. But that's pretty much how that works. Also, if you want to, you can also send us a email. Let me get that up for you. Bloop. There you go. So that's me right there. My email address is michaelm@totalsim.com. And if you got a more complicated question or something like that, just go ahead and send it to me via email. Also, if you're a gamer, I'm Senor Pepe, although I'm embarrassed to say I have not been gaming at all as of late.
I have.
I know you have. And then, of course, I'm Des Weds at just about anything else. So feel free to ask your questions either way. Either post them directly into the live chat or send me an email. I cut my inside of my lip. So I'm talking like this for a little bit because it hurts. I'm trying to, ow! Okay, see, I'm goofing around.
Yeah, and then you cut yourself more.
Yeah.
Pretty soon you'll be spewing blood on the camera.
We're going to go see Dr. Seal. Scott and I actually share the same dentist.
Oh.
No, we're going to do it. You have so many musical skills.
I know, right? Dr. Seale's a great dentist. Very cool guy, very funny.
You turned me on to him.
Always asks us, because he knows what we do for a living. We're in the chair, right? He's got stuff. And he's like, so I've got this issue.
It's like,
and he asks us, we're his
free layer 1
tech support. Yeah. Because we're afraid not to answer his questions because he's a dentist.
And he's like 75 years old. We should all be as good as he is when we're 75.
That's true.
And it's like, he actually did say it to me once. And I was like, and it's like, well, I don't like that answer. I was like, I will give you any answer you want. And no, he's like this, right? He's going to knock out one of my teeth. Oh, I don't like that answer. Dr. Seale's a smart ass, too. Oops, sorry.
Oof, delete.
I can't even help it anymore.
So let's see who's here. People started talking. Wow, okay, you guys were chatty.
We got a lot going on today, too. We start at 2 o'clock Central Daylight Time, and we go till 4 o'clock Central Daylight Time, or until the questions run out. So if you want to keep going, you got to keep asking questions. I'm also starting to do some advertising again, Scott.
Oh,
I'm letting people know about the AMA. I'd kind of quit doing that for the last few months, and with predictable results.
Right.
Poor Tolowitz just trying to come up with all the questions he can. You know? He's only one man. Anyway, go ahead. So
we've
who's
got
on first?
Who's on first? Daily IT Solutions.
Third base.
At 1:41. I think there was probably somebody before that because it looks like
I posted before 2 o'clock because they were all. Who was it? Daily IT Solutions, like, oh, I love you, Scott. You need to have your own show. No.
Not that I lack presentation skills. I certainly have those, but I have no need for my own specialized hour in the sun.
Additional fame for which you will not be paid any extra.
Right? to eat
Come
even
on,
more
Scott,
is my
do it
work
for
week.
free.
Yeah, that's it.
That's, people love free.
So David Mohan is here. Welcome.
Florentina Vince, which is a new name, isn't that?
But Florentine, I think, has been here before. Andre de Guyert is here. Andrew Hutz. David Rush. David Rush is a senior instructor for Total Seminars. He's our moderator and is in the back channel. As you see, he has the little wrench next to his name. What that means is that he can, if somebody goes off the deep end and starts posting gibberish or spam, he can just ban them.
He's also the only person at Total Seminars who can solder well.
That's true. And the only person at Total Seminars who can legitimately fly a plane. A real one.
Yeah. In another life, Dave was a commercial pilot.
Yep. So, and he's a super smart guy as senior instructor for Total Seminars, knows a ton. So if you get questions, he might be answering you in the back channel while Mike is going through a presentation today.
And if you think Scott's pretty, woohoo! Dave Rush and those long flowing locks of his.
That's right. And that beautiful snowy white beard.
Yeah. No, he's kind of got the whole kind of cross between Papa Hemingway and Santa Claus going, you know?
Yep. Depends on how long the beard gets.
That would explain why he says ho, ho, ho all the time.
Right?
Yeah.
I thought he was just being mean.
All right, now hang on. All right, so we do have a lot of things going on today, guys. This is actually a big
lay
day.
it on me. Lay it on me.
Let's start with some of the important stuff. Number one is God bless us and the water don't rise, or whatever that term is. The kiddies will be returning for guest slots.
What?
That's right. Jack, and Margot are heading back into Houston. So
wow. Okay.
Looking forward to Miss Laura maybe letting me have the kiddies as guest hosts on the show.
Excellent.
And, so I'm looking forward to that. So that ought to start like first week in July. Fingers crossed.
Okay.
So we got
Sounds
kids
good.
going. We got a WISP presentation today. We had been asked about wireless internet service providers last week. And so I've whipped up a nice little presentation. It's a little more boring, but sometimes technology is good when it's boring. You know what I mean? You just press the button and it works kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then I've got, for the 3 people who haven't yet done it, I do have a copy of Windows 11. And thought we might poke around in that a little bit. It's cool. It's good.
Okay.
So we
I'm
got
looking
that.
forward to it. I have not actually downloaded it yet. So.
Well,
Or found a...
in 3 days, it's going to be for everybody.
Okay.
So June 24th. So
All right. Sounds good. So Andrew Hutz, Alan Duggan is here, Patricia Grace, of course. And who else do we have going?
Andre, if Scott could find a subject to teach, boy, if you could just find a subject to teach. French history, Pepin the Short,
I prefer Charles Martel myself.
Charles Martel, or, it's Timmy the Flatulent.
That was Prince Timmy the Flatulent.
Oh, sorry, that's right. He wasn't the Black Prince, he was the... Okay, we'll just stop right.
Erase, say no more.
Oh, come on, it's funny. I swear to
Say,
God.
so Jason Helms, do you think that's funny?
Why is Jason Helms our moral authority on these types of things?
I saw his name right there and I hadn't said hi yet. So.
Hey, Andrew Hutz, congrats. What happened with Andrew Hutz?
Oh,
Hold on.
not sure.
You got one job.
I
job.
do,
You
but
start at the
I guess
top.
I have to actually read. I can see the names because they're bigger.
Oh, there you go. It's amazing how glasses work, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
So Andrew posted something before 141, which is when my chat cuts off. So I don't know what happened.
When does the chat cut off? And for the record, I saw it, and Andrew passed something. Andrew, can you post it again, brother?
he was taking Security Plus.
He passed.
Did you pass?
He said that right at the beginning, back at like 20 minutes before the thing started, which is bizarre that I did see it myself. Well, whatever. Congratulations. Let's give him a proper round of applause.
Okay.
Can we at least do that?
Yay, Andrew, way to go, man.
Guy's been hanging out with
I had complete faith in you. Complete.
I never doubted you for a second. I would shoot my dog for some Altoids right now. I don't have a dog.
But you'd shoot it anyway?
I would totally shoot it.
How would that get you out? The logic chain
It's
here.
a euphemism. Come on, don't.
Logic.
I just need a couple of... Okay, come on. Let's get cracking.
I have some little baby Altoids in the car.
No, that's too far away.
Okay.
And besides, they're not really Altoids. Those are, what do you call
Little
those?
tiny super...
Twizzlers, they shake.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
not an
chiclets.
Altoid. Chiclets.
When was the last time you saw those?
I was in Mexico, so that might give you a clue right there.
Nice.
Okay, come on. Let's see what we got going. What do we have? A lot of fun
So
stuff
Andrew
going on.
at 151 was like, I got blindsided by the PBQs, the performance-based questions, because he didn't prepare for them, and thought reading logs were going to count as the PBQs. So instead, and maybe on Discord afterwards, we can discuss some of these questions, not in specific detail, but in general. That would be very helpful for all of us. I assume you took the 501. Yes, that's what you were studying for.
Is he talking to you in real time there?
No. I'm looking at the chat. Wait. Andrew, you passed the 601?
Who knows?
I don't know yet. So I haven't even gotten to 2 o'clock yet. So we're going. Andrew had 6 PBQs. Wow. Okay.
That's more than I've heard from
that's a lot.
Security Plus. I wonder
Yep.
if he took the 601.
I don't know.
He will tell us shortly.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. So David Mohan says Domain 2 and Network Plus is pretty much A+ content with 10% being new content. Have you gotten a hold of the new
Touch what you're talking about.
008 domains? That's my question for you, David.
Yeah, David, be careful. If you've got a hold of the new Network Plus domains, I don't think we're allowed to talk about those yet. Well, we aren't. We're under NDA. Yeah, just be careful, man.
Yep.
I mean, CompTIA has never really gotten mad about this, but I don't want me to be the first person
Right.
to discover the joy of the anger of CompTIA.
Zach showed up at 2 o'clock. Hey, Zach. William Jeske, too. Good to see you both. Hope you're feeling fine, Zach. Jose Braden shows up. Speaking of Jose Braden, there is a Discord channel that is not the Total Seminars Discord channel, although a lot of people who hang out here, and even those of us who are Total Seminars people, hang out there, and it's called the unofficial Total Seminars Discord channel. Dave Rush will post a link to the invitation to the Discord in the chat, if he hasn't already, and it's a great place to come hang out. It's hosted by our friend Jose Braden. It's a little saltier than this, but the cool thing is you can show up with your camera and microphone, and we get to actually interact with you live. And that's a lot of fun for us. And
the dancing it's just fun.
It is fun. It is fun. The dancing is
I think
a twirl a minute.
I'm just mad we need to get matching kilts for everybody.
I agree. I agree.
I mean, black watch is black watch, but we could come up with our own.
We could. Our own pattern. I like it.
I want to call it the Mike Greger.
It's pink and it says juicy on it.
I'm not going to do my bad Scottish accents.
Please.
Because every time an American does a Scottish accent, it ends up...
Somebody dies.
Zeus's pedals! Yeah, almost that bad.
So
right, Scott,
203. Andrew Hutz, Mike, I have some pending wins from previous giveaways that I need to follow up with Kathy on. Apart from Pen Test Plus material, which do you think would be most beneficial to helping with pen testing? So he's done Security Plus. He may or may not go back and do Network Plus.
I think CASP and CYSA, we have both of those, would be very good things to consider. Honestly, to me, even though Pen Test Plus is kind of challenging, the Security Plus, I always get them backwards, CYSA, CASP, right? Did I get them right that time?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Cybersecurity analyst.
I find those to be more challenging, personally.
Yep.
But that would be the direction I would go. Mike is unboxing gum. I was.
Dean asks at 204, Mike, did you ever find a 1.8-inch hard drive for your A+ course?
I will never do that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
How many did you get, Mike? That's the real question.
I've had delivered to me about 3.
Nice.
That I've had lots of eBay links sent to me, and things like that.
Nice.
So.
Okay.
If you think it's butter, but it's not, it's shiver. Told it just another magic Monday. Oop.
Manic.
It's magic here, man.
Magic. It's where the stars happen.
Whoa, 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 it's magic. David Rush. Note, the 3 vertical dots are called a kebab. Is he like totally trolling us on that one?
No, he says he's done his research and it's called a kebab.
Yeah, but that's Dave Rush research, you know?
He's like the senior researcher for Total Seminars.
Yeah, but he
That's
smokes
important.
a lot. The clouding obscures the monitor. You know, he still thinks the alphabet only has 23 letters, too. So
It has more?
yeah, right? Somebody actually uses Q?
No, it's always silent anyway.
Yeah. Why is Kathy on a mission?
I don't.
On a mission, like she's LDS kind of on a mission?
Kathy is off currently. Please be patient, is what David posted at 206. I don't know. I thought she was back from holiday too, Patricia Grace. But there we go. I haven't talked to her in a couple days.
Tom Jeffrey's curious what's in front of me. How much coffee do you guys get through? I see the big jug on the desk.
That's a French press.
It is French, you know?
May we?
No, wait, so Tom Jeffrey, he's British, so... the French, the people right across the channel from y'all? Yeah, this is where this comes from. Tom Jeffrey, he stays with old Blighty.
Shade 212.
I've been watching way too much, what's that British...
That one British show?
No, there's one in particular, come on.
Doctor Who.
No, stop.
Blackadder.
It's like the upstairs, downstairs.
Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey. Isn't it hilarious? I'm completely addicted to Downton Abbey.
I
know it's already over, but I mean...
My friends, Patricia and John, have watched it like multiple times.
Me too.
It's just like, apparently it's great theater.
Well, because then if you watch upstairs, downstairs, then you have to go, I mean, if you watch Downton Abbey, then you go back to the 1974 BBC production of Upstairs, Downstairs, which was then redone just a few years ago. It only lasted a couple of seasons.
Or I
What?
can just watch superhero movies because, you know.
Because you like Pepin the Flatulent,
Yes.
Zeldron the Insistent.
Yes.
I'm sorry, flatulent's just a funny, funny word.
It is.
So, Tom, I
Jason-
drink no more than 2 or 3 shelves of coffee a day.
Where are you?
Puts it around 2:14 p.m. You know, we
Oh,
really
206. Dean asked, I'm still bouncing around a little bit here. When will your Security Plus 601 be available on Udemy? Imminently.
very imminently, like it could literally be days
Yeah.
from now. I know
Yeah.
that they're already uploading videos, so yeah,
So just
very,
to-
very close.
Yeah, they're extremely close. The video production team is working around the clock, like incredible droids and machines they are, to get that thing done.
Everybody's like, please God, Mike, don't do the robot. Whatever, just don't do the damn robot.
See, Andrew Hutz, he's got my back, man.
What?
My fellow history major. I'm a Charles Martel guy too. See,
Really, you're Charles Martel?
he's a Charles
So
Martel guy.
at that point, I'd probably be. Well, Charles Martel, he was part of the Reconquista, right?
No.
Yeah. Wait, Reconquista was like in the 1490s.
Well,
I'll just shut up.
that's
How
when it
about the
ended.
Astros, huh? Christopher Campbell at 2:14. Are you better than Professor Messer? Professor Messer is great. Alex, oh my God, she's starting already? That is our Alex, right?
There's only one. There can be only one.
2:13.
Okay.
Can you explain the difference between ICS and SCADA? Oh. Go ahead, Scott. You got that one.
No, go ahead, Mike.
No,
you got this.
do it,
Ask
Dave.
Mike anything.
You know, the problem is I forget all the main pieces of ICS versus SCADA. ICS is Industrial Control Systems, and it has to do with basically, well, it used to be these things called Programmable Logic Controllers, or PLCs, which even now PLCs are pretty much nothing more than glorified computers, regular system on a chip type stuff. We used to call them PCs, but even that's no longer accurate. But you know, you could be using industrial control systems to bake bread or something like that. Whereas SCADA, the big difference between SCADA and ICS, more than anything else, is that SCADA is for long distance things, railroad lines, oil pipelines, power transmission. You know, it's something where where you have kilometers of distance involved, and SCADA devices usually are designed to have a little bit of AI or at least some autonomy built into them, where if because of connectivity issues, they can kind of run on their own a little bit more, whereas ICS has a problem, it just yells and screams. ICS also rarely has a generic generalized operating system as a front end. Most of the time it's got some kind of, you know, dedicated interface to allow you to adjust the bread propellers or baking temperatures and stuff like that. I mean, there's no C prompt. There is, but it's probably behind it a little bit. So that would be the big difference between ICS and SCADA. Andrew Hutz took the 501. Good, or laughing my ass off. Sorry, Andrew Hutz 213. LMAO no 501, which could either mean no, I took the 501, or
no.
there is no 501.
Andrew, punctuation matters. Is that a no comma 501?
Eats,
Which-
shoots, and leaves.
Right?
Wonderful book. This coffee's making me vibrate.
Right? And there, see? Patricia Grace knew precisely that it was a French press as well. So there you go.
You know.
And David
you
Mohan,
think
just for the
Patricia
record.
Grace is just a pretty face. That is a crackerjack tech there, young man.
Absolutely, absolutely.
God, you're just, you know.
Nerf Oreos at 2:15 passed the 1002 yesterday. Not as fun as the 1001. Congratulations. But your video course made it as painless as possible.
That's all. I live for that. Congratulations, Nerf Oreos.
Congratulations. That's great, man. Very excited for you. Dave Rush posted the Discord links at 2:16. So join us. We usually go to Discord after the AMAs, but there's people on them all the time. And it's also, Discord is a great way to do asynchronous questions and answers. In other words, you post a question and somebody pokes in there a little later and goes, oh, I've got answers for you. So it'll get back to you eventually. People, just like with here, if you do an @ at somebody's name on Discord, then they actually get a notice that somebody's posted about them or to them. So,
all right,
good
so
stuff.
I'm going to put you out. Sorry, you're going to have to respond to this. So, Scott, folks were talking about you having your own show. How do you feel about that?
Well, Mike.
Tell them.
I know. All right.
You got to tell them, man.
I know. So unfortunately, this will be my last live show for a while. The demands of the book deadlines have heated up to the point where our publisher is going insane, and
we're both under the gun on this book.
Yeah.
And the Security Plus took a long time to produce, but mainly that was just because I'm blaming Corona.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was just
and everybody,
off.
every book on Earth came out late in 2020, but that's not the case in 2021. And McGraw-Hill, y'all might think McGraw-Hill is this lovely grandmotherly kind of textbook company, but they actually, all the acquisitions editors are issued cattle prods.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they're not afraid to use them.
No. There's nothing like 50,000 cold cranking amps on your rear end from a. So Scott is buried, and I'm afraid you're going to have to look at nothing but me. We are Andrew Hutz. I'm looking at you. We're definitely going to be aggressively soliciting for more presenters, including some of you old geezers here too. Probably get you guys on board as well. And I'm also, so while you're making an announcement, I'll make an announcement too. And that is, right now we're going to keep the 2-day a week and then Dave on Fridays.
Okay.
But I'm going to start moving more towards a little bit of a general IT and topicalities that may not necessarily be certification based.
On the Monday show or the Wednesday show or both?
Whenever something shows up.
Okay.
But I'm
just when it's some cool technology you want to share?
Yeah, that's all it is.
All
so
right.
we're going to be doing more and more of that. Today, we're going to show you guys Windows 11 live. 3 days before the rest of the world gets to see it.
3 days.
I wonder how many people out there have already downloaded their own Windows 11.
We're talking to a whole collection of geeks, nerds.
No, I'm saying a lot of them almost certainly have.
Yeah.
So anyway, guys, that's not. You'll still show up for the occasional guest spot, right?
Absolutely.
So it's either be a cat or you, right?
Right.
Right, so.
Nice. Wait.
Jack couldn't make it today,
So here's Scott.
Wearing the whiskers in the ears, you look so cute. You're perfect.
Don't. Oh, that was bad, Mike.
I have yet to begin. So you give me all this coffee. What do you expect?
What do you expect? Yes, Alex, that's kind of what we think about Professor Messer, although we don't want to say that.
What?
Nothing. I don't want to say it.
All right.
Yes, no, Mike is a lot of fun. We'll just leave it there.
I'm great at parties.
Total Seminars kilts. See, Andre is totally into this. What about pink with juicy on them? Andre, still in?
Now, let's come up with something a little more. Not to say that we won't have gals as part of this, right? And gals can certainly wear kilts, but let's ipscate on the ink pay, okay?
Real men aren't afraid to wear
You
pink.
went right there. You were the one who went right there.
I did.
Holy God!
And then I super scrolled.
I believe in you all forever.
Apparently, Altoid delivery just happened.
Did you
Nice. Can you hear the giggling in the background? That would be thank you to Laura for delivering the almighty Altoids for Mr. Meyers, who's now a much happier guy. Wow. Okay, I super scrolled, so I'm kind of going back up.
I'm going to say if there's one thing that I would like to change in the motif of this show is all this scrolling.
Yeah, the scrolling part is a pain.
I've been putting up this for a year and 3 months.
So at 2:17,
Yes.
now that I'm back up to where I was, Veselin Litov asks, hey guys, how's it going?
Veselin Litov? Where do we get all these Irish guys?
If you guys had a choice to install Windows 10 on your new machine, would you or would you prefer to wait for the Windows 11 to come out? Windows 11 isn't supposed to come out officially for a couple of years, right? So
3 days.
no, the whole, like for real, Windows 11?
Windows 11 will be rolled out and announced in 3 days.
Announced is not the same thing as rolled out.
I didn't look as close as I should. I have a great degree of confidence that there'll be an announcement with a quick rollout. Here, Dave Resch is typing like a madman. I have all the answers. Let's see what Dave says. Well, you missed that Brian Knowles at 216 working on my A Plus and Net Plus as we speak. Keep working.
Yeah, the official announcement in 3 days, but no release date yet.
Now, here's an interesting one. David Mohan at 216 says, the 1001 has content that is identical to the N10007 in domain 2.
He's talking about the old exam, the current exam, 007.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I mean, David, that stuff happens all the time with CompTIA. We're personally convinced that CompTIA takes Security Plus questions, then moves them to Network Plus, which eventually gets moved to A Plus. They've been doing that for decades.
Right.
They're not identical questions. There is similarity. We thought some were identical too, and we did some research and discovered they were not identical. Although we definitely did find questions that got downgraded to a earlier exam that were. I mean, it's not like we memorized the question, but they looked
Right.
virtually identical. So.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so at 217, Alex asks, how do you apply security in depth, except for VLANs? Security in depth.
All right, well, I mean, security in depth just simply means you have multiple levels of protection. So I'm not sure why you would want to add or exclude VLANs. I mean, it's
Right.
this is a cloud and boxy kind of question, right? So it would be depending on what you're trying to do, right? So you'd have to give me a situation, and then I could say, how do we apply security in depth? So let's start with one of the more simple ones. Not necessarily simple, but more of the more classic ones, and that is you have a web server, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this is before virtualization. You actually have an on-premise web server. I know nobody does that anymore. Nobody does that anymore. You know
course
that?
not. Why would
It is
they?
just completely gone.
Yeah.
But there's still questions on CompTIA exams that talk
Right,
about that.
right.
And that's where you get into demilitarized zones, or what are they calling that now? They changed the... Yeah, whatever.
The unbecoming in zones. I don't.
We're going to come up with a softer version because we don't like to say the word military,
DMZ, oh my gosh.
I've already forgot what
I've already forgotten.
the PC
We wrote that.
word
We wrote
was.
that book. We
Soft, cushy, Care Bear, stars zone. Anyway, so the bottom line is there. So if you're going to have a web server, you create defense in depth by setting up a good DMZ, by having proper maybe load balancing. But you put all these different layers to help protect your system from the naughties of the internet. So that perimeter network.
That's not it. That's not what they called it.
Oh, okay. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Alex. You'd almost have to give me a situation before I could give you a description of defense in depth.
So Alex Aston is here. Howdy, howdy, it says.
Adiva75 is here.
Excellent. Good to see you.
I'll tell you what. Let's total it, the Altoid dance. Do, 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 do. Come
yeah,
on, Eileen, what I sweat.
Well, Jason Helm is asking a question at Scott and at Mike.
Okay.
So if you're going to do at us, one, have you posted anything?
Have I posted anything?
Right, they can't at you unless you post.
I did. I'm
You Total Seminars channel?
Total Seminars channel.
Okay.
This works. It'll get
Sure. Was it Scott who wrote the questions for ITF? Yes.
Yeah, I had very little to do with ITF, to be honest with you.
You can almost read a question and know who wrote them. That's true. Mine tend to be lots of story stuff. because my background is in creative writing and history, not tech, believe it or not. So I tend to like stories, and so I make scenarios up, and yeah, there you go. I have a style. And that's true of every question writer, as you pointed out. Andre de Guyert, 219, running an update on my Pi on the other screen, and it's taking forever. Many updates, yes. Ask Dave Rush. How often does he do it?
I got to tell you, I have not updated my Pi hole in over a month.
Ooh.
I know.
Run an update, man.
I know.
Okay, so Andrew Hutz at 219 asks, Mike, are there actual security risks presented by air gaps beyond prevented? You must be prevented. Any security risks prevented by air gaps beyond physical threats?
I need to think about the question. Are there any actual security risks prevented beyond physical? Literally, air gap prevents everything. There isn't anything. Air gap prevents malware. Air gaps prevent man-in-the-middle attacks. Air gaps prevent everything because you're not connected.
Well,
isn't that what he's asking?
I think it's your. I mean, I'm guessing he's talking about a physical air gap, just a.
As opposed to a literal air gap? No such thing, amigo.
I mean, they're still connected.
A figurative air gap?
Computers are still connected.
A
You just don't have
literary.
physical access
I'm going
to
to
them.
keep going with this until I. No. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll stop.
No, that's good. It's good.
I mean, yeah, the air gaps stop everything.
William Jeske, I'm a Red Dwarf man. Well, there you go.
The android on Red Dwarf was pretty funny. Do you remember him?
I never saw it. Woo, EMH passed A+. Thank you, Mike and Scott. Now on to A+. Congratulations.
Get it?
EMH, that's great.
EMA.
That was at 221.
Pure cane sugar. Andrew, go ahead, because we're like a totally different thing. You know what, Scott? I want to stop. Let's
Okay.
go ahead and I want to talk about WISP.
Okay, so we stopped at 220.
Yeah, if you guys don't mind, let's just knock WISP out real quick. Oh, this should be interesting. Oh, it worked, thank God. Okay. I already have Windows 11 queued up on the second camera.
Yeah.
And doing that. All right. So anyway, last week, and I apologize, I don't remember who actually asked the question, but they're like, Mike, what is WISP? W-I-S-P. WISP stands for Wireless Internet Service Providing. And it's an interesting technology that basically allows internet service providers to provide you internet wirelessly, okay? And it uses 802.11. That's an important part of this,
Okay.
although there's some Wi-Fi 6 stuff that's coming out. But basically, it's instead of having somebody run a cable to your house, you just pick up a wireless signal. And these still have SSIDs and everything, okay? So let's go ahead and talk about these a little bit. It's actually kind of fascinating. So first, what is WISP? It stands for Wireless Internet Service Providing. It's using 802.11 as an internet service provider. It has a typo, I just saw that. Uses 2.4 and 5 gigahertz on what's known as point-to-multipoint. Before we go any further, let's make sure we're clear on this. So basically, this is more of a rural thing, and there's big antennas that are broadcasting out 802.11 signals, and these are very, very tweaked signals. So that's the point-to-multipoint, but we're going to see here in a minute there's more than just that. All right. But it also uses 11, 24, and 60 gigahertz on point-to-point links. Now you'd say, well, why do we use point-to-point? And that is to connect the towers to the backhaul.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
How did you make that little picture in a picture show?
Oh, I went like that.
The one time. Here, all I saw was this. Brrk. Okay.
Oh, that's because my hand covered
You have
your
huge
accent.
hands.
Huge.
All right. So the first thing I want to tell you about wireless internet service providers is that it's very much mom and pop. Here in the United States, AT&T, Infinity, none of them are actually playing in the sphere that I could find.
Okay.
Although I was on Wikipedia, and they're like, almost everybody in Bulgaria uses it. And it's like, where is Bulgaria? No, I'm kidding. I know where Bulgaria is.
Wow.
But it has its place. in certain areas. So what I did here is I pulled up a link just showing a distribution of WISP providers in Europe and the US. Now, if I zoomed in, there'd be more there, okay? But just kind of gives you an idea of where it's used. Keep in mind, this is a rural tool. So if you take a look at this little graphic, by the way, I stole these, I mean, straight up just stole these off the WISPA.org website.
So they won't be in any book in our near future.
No, we'll draw our own that look almost the same. So if you take a look at this picture here, so you can see here is the primary connection, and here is the wired connection to some wholesaler of internet. Mm-hmm. And then you have these point-to-point connections. And these, interestingly enough, and I didn't have enough time to do the research on this that I wanted to, but it looks like they're using the old frame relay style microwave dishes.
Huh.
Which
Okay.
I found utterly fascinating. Why not repurpose them for other things?
Yeah, why
You know,
not?
it's,
Sure.
it's basically just a parabolic antenna.
Right.
So, whatever, okay. So you have these point-to-point connections between the different towers, and then the towers then have point-to-multipoint to the individual consumers that anybody can tap into. All right. So some quick facts, again, stolen from WISPA.org. There's about, this is just for the USA. So there's like 2,800 providers. There's like 7 million customers. That really surprised me. I didn't think there was that many. I actually have some friends who live west of Austin, Texas, in what we call the Hill Country. And they were using WISP. So even here in Texas, there's a couple of WISP providers.
Okay.
There's operators in all 50 states. There's an average, each business has about 1,200 customers. And as you can tell, it's very mom and pop, less than 10 employees each. And download speeds are 25 to 100 megabits residential and up to a gigabit for business, which again surprised me. But you know, 802.11 can do a gigabit. You know, you got to get it tweaked just right. Mm-hmm. And WISP is popular around the globe. I mean, in no ways, these are U.S. facts, but it's popular all over the world.
All right, awesome.
So your customer premise equipment usually manifests as a WISP-capable wireless router. And by the way, folks, don't go running to your local store and ask for a WISP-capable wireless router. You're not going to get one. Almost in every situation, there are like 4 or 5 manufacturers. Ubiquiti is one, who sell WISP-capable wireless routers, but they usually don't sell them retail. They sell them directly to WISP
Providers.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the P. That's what P stands for, provider. It's like saying ATM machine, Scott.
Everybody says that, Mike.
I don't. I don't. Let me have some
Redundantly, we say it.
over and over again.
Indeed. Indubitably.
Oh, indubitably. All right.
All right.
Back to the presentation.
Sorry.
All right. So,
Erase.
but you're not just going to get a wireless router. You're usually going to get a boosted antenna. When I say boosted, these are going to be powered antennas. They're almost always directional, but they're not always directional. There are actually some dipoles out there as well, and they have what's known as a 5-kilometer rating. I don't know what that means. I've just never had to deal with this level of technology, so I'm not positive exactly what that means, other than they're pretty strong antennas. They're obviously weatherproof antennas, and the end result of all this equipment is that you have an RJ45 that you plug into a switch or whatever it might be. Okay. So here's a picture. I stole this from Wikipedia. This is just one example of a customer premise equipment. Mm-hmm. And that's really just the antenna. That's all that is.
Are you sure? It looks like a chimney to me.
Damn you, Scott. I mean the little square right here. Right there. See that?
That. Okay.
This is why I put red circles on graphics, is for people like you. All right. So the thing here, and this, here I want to talk about this for a minute, and that is, so you look at your typical wireless router, right? And what you're doing is you usually plug into the wireless router, correct? Mm-hmm. From your ISP, and then you broadcast out a SSID that you program yourself.
Okay.
WISP turns that around exactly 180 degrees. So instead, what you have are SSIDs coming into it that you connect to on the WAN side, and that's the important thing. You have to have routers that you can query the router and go, look, on the WAN side, I want you to connect to this SSID. And when you say a WISP-capable router, that's what they're talking about.
Okay.
And, wireless bridges, they've been doing that for ages. So here's just one quick example of what it would look like. And so here is on the, and I don't remember what brand this is, but you can see it has a WISP option there. And this is connecting the WAN side.
Okay.
All right, so you can see it does other stuff as well, but that's the WAN side. Okay, so the pros of WISP is that, well, it's available in rural areas and areas that lack other ISP options. Cons, it's slow, it has latency issues, it has weather effects. The bottom line is that you don't want to use WISP if you have more traditional ISP options.
Right.
There you go.
How does it rate as far as like cost against satellite, for example?
I'd say they're comparable.
Really? Okay. With the same level of speed?
Well, what's a good satellite speed these days? I mean, if you go look at what's his name, Starlink.
Yeah, or
right?
HughesNet. HughesNet is the big player too.
Oh, I don't know, man. Elon's coming along with Starlink now.
Okay.
But like for example, when I saw that statistic that said up to 1 gigabit per second, that surprised me. I did not, nor was I able to quickly locate any WISP folks that actually provided a gigabit. Now, granted, I mean, this is, Mike Meyers doing his most intense research. It took me 30 minutes, but it was, I'd never found anybody who straight up said 1 gigabit. So to me, I tend to look at it as yesterday's ISPs. But again, man, if you're out in the country, these things are lifesavers. All right. So Alex says WISP is mentioned in A+. Is that accurate?
I don't.
Alex, we're going to have to respectfully disagree with you there for a minute.
So I assume that Dave Rush is working in the background feverishly as we speak to determine whether
after a year and 2 months of doing this, why don't we have the objectives? We could get them. All right.
We could.
Anyway, so let's move on. We have a question that I seem to have missed from David Mohan.
Okay.
Go ahead.
222, and apparently that was the second time you asked it. Apologies for missing the first time. Would the bus topology be the simplest to implement?
I don't know what simple means anymore.
I would say Starbus, the stuff that we use now, is way easier to implement than pure bus. Having done a lot of those.
What does easy mean? Are we talking about if we're going to be designing our own wireless, our own networking technology, if we're going to come up with SCADA, is that what we're trying to do? Or based on what's available today, what's the easiest to plug in? If it's the latter, then absolutely not. Bus topology is yesterday's taters. If I was designing a network from scratch.
Ring, obviously.
Ring has some real benefits.
Yes, it does. It was unfortunately what IBM just didn't let go and kept the costs up back in the ancient days.
Yeah, I remember it cost us $1.12 a foot for Type 1 token ring cabling.
Yeah.
And that was back in the late 80s, early 90s. Ridiculous.
Yep.
The other thing bus would require is it would absolutely have to have CSMA CD, right? Or if not that, it would have to have some timing signal like the old ArcNet did. Dang. I don't know how to answer your question because there's different ways to look at it.
So
if I were designing my own network, I would still go with Starbus or any of the,
If, David, on the other hand, what you're asking is, if I see this question on the CompTIA Network Plus exam, how should I answer? And the answer is, you won't see this question on the Network Plus exam.
There you go.
Guaranteed. They don't ask questions like that.
So Alex, we don't think WISP is on the A+, but Dave Rush did a little search, and he did Objective 2.7, which is line of sight wireless internet service. And WISP is line of sight.
Sure.
It is line of sight. So
sure.
It's not real. You get in here. This is where you need Dave Rush because we would have to talk about propagation of radio signals and Fresnel lenses and all that stuff. So it's not. It's line of sight. It's line of sight. I'm going to make it hard, and I don't need to.
Alex Aston asks at 223, have you guys tried Windows 11 yet? We're going to do this live on
We're
this
doing
show.
it live.
On this show. We're doing it live. Choco Taco, it's been raining pretty hard all day.
The problem is
Too
I
bad.
have so little to show anybody on Windows 11. It's, in my opinion, it's really kind
Andrew finally found his comma. So it was no comma, 501. Good job. Grammar. William, I'm definitely an Oxford comma man. Patricia Grace. Passed Coffee Plus long ago. 225, Andrew asked to follow up to your SCADA versus ICS answer. SCADA systems, can SCADA systems include more than one ICS as part of its overall system?
So SCADA systems can definitely have PLC, or even PLC is beginning to fade. I mean, PLC used to be a very specific type of system. Yes is the easy answer. But what becomes important again with SCADA is, it's going to have some kind of WAN connectivity, right? Where the ICS is going to be LAN type of connectivity, and there has to be some amount of autonomous functionality on SCADA that you wouldn't see on an equivalent ICS. But then again, how many remote bread baking companies do we have, right? There's usually somebody in a white hat,
Right.
who's in there doing the work. Now you're missing lots of people are just interesting stuff. Dean at 241, where are you?
I'm at 226, man. I jumped all the way back to where you started the
Okay, go.
WISP.
Nick Pothast has got a job coming in, secured a job as a data migration specialist.
That's awesome. We're working with FTP and SFTP.
Would you say this is a good entry-level role to tech? Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
Outstanding.
That's great, Nick. Congratulations. That's awesome.
See how sad everybody is?
I know. It's only a month. As soon as the first rights are done for the book, then I can come back on.
I don't know if I'm going to let you. I could replace you with up to 2 cats.
That's true. That's true.
And especially if they get little chairs or something, get some yarn out. They'll be like, heck with Scott. We got Jack, and Margot going nuts on the catnip,
Okay, that would be funny.
No, you haven't seen Jack on catnip. It's ugly. He's a mean drunk.
Oh, that's too bad.
He's like, slag off. Yeah, I didn't mention that Jack has a British accent.
Really?
Yeah, it's hard to tell, though.
Yeah, the
To
meow.
us, it sounds like meow.
Yeah,
Right?
Sure. Discussionism official at 229. Mike is the type of instructor that would remind his students to read the newspaper if he had a classroom.
I think that's a good compliment.
I think that's a compliment.
Discussionism official. Mm-hmm. I like these names. We should be searching here.
Smirk24, you're absolutely right. Microsoft did say that Windows 10 was going to be the last named version of Windows.
They did.
And they lied. So there you go.
Microsoft lie?
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Dave Rush updates. Oh, that answers that question. Dave Rush, only once a week. Okay. You're only running 14 pies, Dave?
Dave Rush is
I
running,
couldn't say that with a straight
Dave
face.
Rush is running 14 pies, and his wife is very upset.
Luckily, they only sip. They don't drain electricity.
Yeah, but they also don't do a very good job. Why does he have 14? What is it, running your toasters or something?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, he's got the perfect pie running a pie hole, which if you haven't watched Dave's episode on how to set up a pie hole or what it does, which is block all advertising coming into your network, it's cool. Check out, you can do a search in the Total Seminars channel on YouTube, do a search for pie hole, one word, or pie-hole, and there's a great how-to video on how to do it. It's fairly easy to set up. It's a $50 computer that will block all advertising with zero negative effects to your network speed.
I was thinking about putting one up on the internet publicly, just so I could let people play with my pie hole. Well, I mean, they don't have an opportunity, What? Mr. Nasty Mind? Come on.
Speechless.
That's so easy to do with you, too.
What? The Altoid dance.
Smirk24, it's a new name.
Smirk24. I just said that one. I thought Microsoft said Windows.
Okay.
Hi, Smirk24. Okay, all right, I'm going. We already got the Altoids dance. Yeah. Thank you, Nada. Wait for me to show up again. So, yeah, the book has to go. I'm teaching a class in DC the last 2 weeks in August.
Oh, it's not even DC. It's like one of those god-awful...
Yeah, but I can't say where.
Yeah.
Because they have lots of guns.
They have a lot of guns. And it's one of these god-awful places that's not...
Not fun.
I found a French restaurant out there. I'm not kidding.
Really?
A pretty good one.
See, last time we stayed...
They had a pate that was impressive and some nice French wines.
Okay, all right.
I got to turn you on to that place.
Please
This
turn
is
me on.
pre-COVID information, dude.
Okay, all right. Because it was scary around our hotel. Not scary as in
there was
scary,
that place that had
but
the
like there was nothing
cheeseburger
to
and the
eat.
chef's surprise.
Yeah, yeah. It was
Yep.
not good eating, that's for sure. Nerf Oreos at 2:32. I'll be doing the Network Plus next. Is the current version going to be around for a while? That's a good question.
For what?
Network Plus, yes, is the answer. The simple answer. The Net Plus is going to change over sometime in the fall. CompTIA hasn't made the specific announcement date yet, but sometime in the fall, and then they almost always run the old exam for 6 months after announcing or debuting the new exam. So you've got at least 8 months to do the 007 exam.
And so even though we're going to have the new training materials out on a very timely basis this time, I'm still a fan of taking the old exam whenever possible.
Yep.
Yep.
Whoa. 2:34. Zach Morrill applied for level 2 position today at work and has an interview on Thursday.
Yeah.
You got this, man.
But Zach, that's how this happens.
That's awesome.
You know, most people keep their first job. If you keep it 6 months, that's surprising.
Right.
In IT, there's your first couple of years is a lot of moving up very, very quickly.
So at 2:35, Andre de Guyert asks, how many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches were eaten at the filming of ITF?
I do not understand.
Before or after I shoved my entire hand in the peanut butter jar? It was teaching programming.
I'm just not going to touch that.
Teaching programming through peanut butter, assembling peanut butter jelly sandwiches.
Well, that's better than trying to
And yes, we
show how drives can be segmented using pizzas.
That's true. Who would ever do something that silly?
Why not me there, Mr. Vice President?
Harumph.
I didn't get that back today.
we definitely did, because I got good bread, good peanut butter, good jelly, and yes, the entire video production team feasted on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with that video. So, all good stuff.
What are you up to?
I'm at 2:36. I'm moving.
It's just that David Mohan has a really good question coming up. I want to make sure we get it. And okay, come on, man.
Andrew says 2:36. No, I was asking which risks there were to an air-gapped system.
No, air gap is the ultimate disconnector. The risk would be, I'm really looking here, the risk would be somebody connecting it. That could be a consideration.
Right. What do we got going here? Okay, they're definitely talking about lots of British comedies. Okay. Just looking for questions. I'm about 2:45 at this point. Starlink, so the Nerf Oreos, I was actually doing some research while Mike was talking.
Appalachia Whiteside is in Virginia. So Appalachia is in Appalachia.
That was clever,
I was
Mike.
not going to let that...
That was very clever.
Virginia is for lovers,
And cider. Really good cider.
Yeah.
Nerf Oreo said, I think Starlink does 100 megabits per second in my area under ideal conditions.
Yeah,
and I'm seeing everything from 80 to 50 to 30, depending on conditions. It's a satellite, it's just... Everybody's
different. Everybody's got different equipment. Because it's mom and pop, you can't count on the updates like you would with an Xfinity type provider.
So 246, very pretty. Seeing mountains in your backyard. Dave Rush says, hey, not much in the way of mountains here in the Houston area. I live in what's called the Heights.
Yeah. And Mount Houston is good climbing.
Oh yeah, my house is 18 inches above sea level.
I think y'all are at like 50 some odd feet.
No. 18 feet.
No.
Yeah, that's why it's called the Heights. Yeah, no, Houston's really flat.
Like, don't worry, Appalachia. We're going to be like knocking on your door when when the flooding starts to happen.
Right? Because that's coming. We just had our first named storm.
Yeah.
Missed us, but
Hit it, Louisiana. Who cares?
yeah. They're used to it. Massimiliano Papadia.
Papadilla.
Yeah. I love this amazing combo duo.
Wait till the cats come back.
That's right. Then it'll be a triad.
Then we had the meow, meow, meow.
David Mohan at 249. Is this the question you wanted to answer?
Well,
Can you explain
yeah.
software-defined
Could you
network?
explain software-defined networking? And David, I'm not going to. And well, first of all, we do have episodes like back last May, almost a year ago, where we talked about SDN. But what's more interesting is I'm actually working on SDN right now for the upcoming Network Plus, and literally have developed a new way to look at SDN. The problem with SDN, Scott, is that it's something that evolved and is still evolving, in the last 10 to 15 years. And so anytime you look at something that's evolving, and at a certain point, boy, here, you want to talk about adult learning theory, here you go, kids. So anytime you look at a technology that's evolving like this, right? And you have to pick a certain point where that technology was pertinent, okay?
Okay.
And the problem with software-defined networking is that software-defined networking needed things like virtualization to become pertinent.
Okay.
Software-defined networking is not virtualization. It's not. But it kind of leans on it really, really hard.
Okay.
You see where I'm coming from? And so then other people who want to teach this will then go back further in time, right? And every person I've heard talk about software-defined networking goes back to IBM mainframes. I'm not going to do that. But what will happen instead is that I've got a really neat evolution, and I guess I own some kind of answer.
Well, hold on. Dave posted on May 6th.
Oh,
You
there we
actually
go.
did a feature.
Then we did AHCI and SDN that day. I remember
So
that.
what I would suggest then, David, is to go watch that video on YouTube and come back on Wednesday. And if you still need answers to the questions, then ask a more specific question about SDN, and that way we can can answer you.
And more important, the other problem with SDN is that it's really, unlike almost every other technology on the Network Plus, SDN pretty much requires an enterprise level setup.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a challenge for me. So what I've been doing as part of the instruction for SDN on this upcoming Network Plus is I have been able to find that some people have put together some virtualized networks that you can just download and play with. And I'm still in the middle of that right now, and I'm not prepared to, tell people where to go and play with this type of stuff. But it will be coming up in the next couple of weeks, 3 weeks or so. And so, David, please check out that video and then come back and ask me more questions. It's fascinating, and it is where everything is today.
All right, sounds good. Catastrophic.
That wasn't nearly as bad as Tolowit. Jack meows and Cockney. Zach's like, "Ah! What?"
I am definitely a Diva 75. I am teaching in Virginia on a government site. You are absolutely
Diva
right.
75, you got it exactly right.
Yep.
Yet another boring gray building in a boring gray part.
Yeah.
The one thing I can tell you is that from Scott's training facility, you can see sailboats. That's about the only clue I'll give. You can. Remember that big bridge? It's there.
Okay. I believe you. I'll look this
Trust
time.
me. Yeah.
I basically just saw the.
I'm trying really hard to ignore. Wyatt Tolowit's on a roll today.
He is like.
Just don't feed him.
Don't feed
keep
him.
Going.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no, don't. We've given him enough as it is.
So it's 3:04, and let me mention what happens on Fridays. Friday is Friday Pie Day. We've alluded to it a couple of times. Our esteemed senior instructor, David Rush, does a 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Central Daylight Savings Time show on the Total Seminars channel that is drama. Dave Rush, Ask Me Anything. Dave is incredibly seasoned and intelligent, knowledgeable instructor, so you really can ask him anything about technology of all sorts, and he'll come up with some crazy answers that are often amazing. He also does specials dealing with the Raspberry Pi, which is this little tiny system on a chip that costs $30, maybe with all the trimmings about 50, and it runs a perfectly functional version of Linux. It's an awesome tool as just a Linux thing for learning A+, Network+, and Security Plus stuff, but it's also got some very cool features all on its own that you can do with this tiny little machine. So this Friday, aside from just asking questions, Dave is going to do installing and configuring a proxy server on a Raspberry Pi. So be there, 2 o'clock daylight savings time, Central Daylight Savings Time.
Central Daylight Time. Whatever. The important thing to keep in mind, guys, is we're not really, nor is Dave Rush particularly interested in trying to turn you into a Raspberry Pi person. What's far more important is that people are always looking for ways to train cheaply. And that's where the Raspberry Pis have really become amazing. So Dave's going to be doing proxy servers on Friday. Now, what Dave didn't say is he's doing forward or reverse proxies.
I'm sure he'll tell me.
Yeah, well, I would assume we do both, but
yeah.
You know, see where it says new messages?
Uh-huh.
If you click on that, you'll get more messages will appear.
You think?
Amazing, huh?
Well, there you go.
Alex Aston at 258. Weird thing with Windows touchscreen drivers. I have a Dell laptop with a touchscreen that had working drivers directly from Dell. I had to wipe it, and now there are no drivers to be found for Windows 10.
Oh, boy.
Alex, do me a favor. Alex, give me the service tag for that laptop. Every Dell laptop has a service tag. Give me the service tag, and let me see if I can help you on that.
And why don't you pop your contact information up, Mike, for Alex, so she, I don't know, can respond to you.
I can do this.
You can do this. So to Alex, if you want to send an email with that tag, what's it called?
Service tag.
Service tag. To Mike, he's at michaelm@totalsim.com.
And I'll do some quick research and see if I can get some answers for you. The thing is, Dell is really good about Windows drivers. I mean, really good.
Yeah.
If Dell is dumping a driver, something else is going on. I've seen Dell do this before, but it was usually like weird things like third-party scanners and stuff like that. Not a touch screen. But anyway, Alex, if you want, I can give you as much help as I can. I don't guarantee I have all the answers. There's more than one time I told people that the best thing they can do for their system is to jack up the mouse and slide a new computer underneath it. But there you go.
So Apple's nickname is Apple, by the way. Appleania.
Appleania. Nickname is Apple.
Apple.
I'll never remember that Appleania.
Okay, I'm just going to laugh at that one, Stan. Stan Davidson, Virginia is for people who couldn't sell their house.
Oh,
Ouch.
That's mean.
That is.
At least within 150 miles of D.C., that's for
Right.
sure.
Okay, Nerf Oreos at 301. Total Seminars. Would you recommend looking for an IT job after A plus, or wait to get more certs? Soapbox on.
Get a job. You don't need any certifications to get at least the most basic entry-level jobs. Look, you cannot, certifications, the only thing a certification does is it puts your name at the top of a stack of resumes and things like that. You go work, and do not wait. Do not use lack of certifications as an excuse. I have watched people go, well, I don't have certifications, I can't get a job. And then I'd sit there and go, okay, let's do this together. And they're like, oh, see, these jobs require A+. I was like, you're not looking at these other 5 jobs. Okay, now granted, the other 5 jobs are more like, unpacking monitors. But I mean, it's work.
Right,
you know?
sure.
Certification studies should be done on nights and weekends because you have a full-time job. You should never, ever, ever use, I will get certifications and then get a job. No, you get a job and then you get certifications to get better jobs.
Soapbox?
Off.
Off. There we go.
/soapbox.
/soapbox. Patricia Grace asked a question. What's another word for IT, computer technology, etc.? IT, computer technology.
Why are we looking for another word?
I don't know.
It's like saying, what's another word for cheese? What's wrong with cheese? It's a perfectly good word. What's wrong with IT? Patricia.
I don't know.
Patricia, yeah, okay.
Actually, quite a few people are interacting with Alex about the Dell. So,
Okay, good.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, Alex, this is a good place. In no way do I have a monopoly on knowledge. We got a lot of great techs who sit here, not only guys like Scott and Dave, but folks who show up. And that's another reason to join the Discord server, is because it's just a wonderfully convenient place to get on and just meet with folks. Especially if it's a more complicated question, I can do a lot better on a Discord server. But to be honest with you, I've answered almost no questions on the Discord server, because 4 or 5 other people jump on
in.
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they give it a good answer. Why, you know, the only thing I can say is, I'm Mike Meyers and I agree with this answer. I mean, you know.
Right, I know.
What else am I going to say?
Right. So, okay, David Mohan asked a question, 308. When troubleshooting a problem, is it from bottom to top OSI model you use, or top to bottom? I'll give you a hint. The answer is yes.
Yeah, I go either way. You know, you keep in mind that for me personally, anywhere from maybe 10 to 20% of all issues that I see on a system, I pretty much instantly know what the problem is. I've seen them a million times, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to react to whatever that is. So it's not even top to bottom, it's right in the middle, okay? Then I got about another 80% of problems that I probably have a clue where to look, but I need to do some checks. And in that case, I'm probably going to do top to bottom in general, all right?
Okay.
But it really depends on the problem, right? So let's say I can't ping anybody, all right? So in that case, I'm going to be at layer 3, right? I'm going to be running IP config, stuff like that. Arguably, I could even, you know, most operating systems are pretty good about telling you whether you're plugged in or not.
Sure.
Right? So the days of having to look behind you and see if there's a link light are pretty faded out. So again, that kind of puts you more in the middle. I tend to go top down in general, but if I'm stumped for that other 15% of problems, or actually have to think about it for a minute, I will go through what I call a mental installation, which is a bottom-up type of methodology. Is the thing plugged in? Do I have an IP address? Do I have IP config giving me information? Can I ping? You know, and marching my way up like that. So the answer is yes.
Okay. That sounds good. Alex is going to send you an email in a bit. And Dave Rush at 311 posted the Discord link again. Feel free to join us after the show today. Choco Taco at 312. My current job place may be offered to pay for Net Plus, but I'd rather have a raise. Yeah.
Yeah, in general, if you're getting a choice between a raise or paying for a certification, I'd go with the raise.
Except he also finishes, it's like it's a sweet gig because he has some time to study, but it's not a dream job. So maybe the Net Plus would be the next step out. I don't know. But what helps me remember? Okay. Daniel Ocampo at 312. Any recommendations other than DPM for backup solutions?
What is...
I don't know what DPM
was
is.
Microsoft offering?
DPM.
Hang on.
Yeah, what...
Well, this speaks volumes right here. Is I am my backups these days. What is that called? First of all, I don't know what's wrong with DPM. I can't remember the name of it. Give me a second. Oh, good Lord. LifeWire has 21 free backup 32 free backup software tools here. I'm gonna make life confusing. I'm gonna dump a link into the chat real quick. Something I stumbled into. But I'm looking for one in particular. Oh, come on, Scott. When they killed the backup in Windows 10, they said, go ahead and use... I have just gone
Lord,
blank.
I have too.
Komodo has a backup? That's hilarious. I'm going to scroll through here and find the thing.
Unless it's already gone.
Unless it's already gone. But there's 32 and I'm at 17 already.
Awesome.
Macrium, that's it. Macrium Reflect. Here, let me put a link here. This Macrium works pretty well, and in fact, Microsoft was recommending it at one point. So I've just dropped a link in there for Macrium, M-A-C-R-I-U-M Reflect Free Edition. Good tool, and even Microsoft 4 or 5 years ago was recommending it. It's still a good tool.
Okay.
Yep.
So Jason Helms, I skipped his question at 302. With Windows 7 being with Windows 11 being leaked, is it truly safe to use? Windows, okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Windows, Microsoft and everybody else under the sun releases preview copies of stuff to get people excited, to get people enthused about the new product, to get feedback in case there are things that the product should change. So it's not really leaked so much as by design, is my guess. And I have phenomenal faith in Microsoft and in Apple that they are not going to have buggy operating systems at all, and that the security features of Windows 11 will be dialed up to 11.
Oh my God.
I know it was bad, but I had to
This
take
is
it.
Spinal Tap.
That's it. That's
So
it.
the dial goes up to 11. Yeah, but why doesn't it just go up to 10? Yeah, but it goes to 11. Great movie. Oh, you quoted a movie.
I did quote a movie, which I haven't seen. But the quote is out there all the time, so there you go.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, Microsoft Data Protection Manager is DPM. Da, 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 da.
Oh, here we go. I didn't drop those. Oh, I guess I did.
Bob Noob, doing an update from Vista to 7 at the moment
Nice.
at
Oh,
3:15.
so that is, wait, guys, this is a big deal. I forgot all about this. So some guys in India grabbed that that leaked copy of Windows 11, and it looks like, and you're going to have to try this when the real McCoy comes out, but it looks like you've got an old copy of Windows 7, you can just use that and get a free copy of Windows 11.
Nice.
Well, this is a big deal, right? You gotta have a CD key, right? Or whatever they want to call the key this year. And so many of us find ourselves in a situation, you've got a new system build or something like that, or you want to spin up a VM,
Right.
and you need a key, right? So when Windows 10 came along and they offered the free upgrades, I took every Windows 7 disk I had.
You threw them away?
No, I still have them.
Oh, wow.
And Windows 8, Windows 8.1, and most of these were OEM. And all you have to do is actually drop the disk in there, and then it would say, oh, okay, we're going to give you a free CD key. And I'm going to do the same thing with Windows 11, is I'm going to recycle all these old Windows 7. I don't know if Vista's going to work. Wow, Vista, that's something. But
So
I'm going to go
product key is what you're looking
and
for.
yes, product key.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get extra free product keys. No, I don't need it right now, but I hate spinning up a virtual machine and not having a key handy.
Right.
End up having to spend $99 or whatever it is, $129 for Pro. It looks like we'll be able to do that. So, not that, I think this is perfectly legal. Go on eBay and get a stack of like old Dell Windows 7 OEM optical media,
Sure.
and just get yourself a bunch of copies. I can't guarantee I'm right, but when it goes. He won't have to register Win 7. The activation servers are down. Okay.
Okay, so, right. So two different components, right? The product key, just to get you in the door, and then the activation code enables you to have
the
a
same
legit.
thing.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. It is. Scout's Honor. It's the same thing, Scott.
It didn't used to be.
Here, even Dave Rush. Right. Ow, that hurts. Ow, ow. Don't stick your finger in the deep fat fryer.
Right?
Okay. I get him every now and then. He hates it.
Scott's honor.
And of course, Scott's like, yes, but I'm good looking. I don't know.
Diva 75 does not have nearly the confidence in Microsoft that I do. So there we go. David Mohan, is there any difference between PoE and PoE Plus, apart from the fact that the PoE Plus uses more power, or provides more power, as the case may be?
The only thing I'm aware of, the only difference is that PoE Plus uses more power.
Okay.
Substantially more power.
We are up to the end of questions.
All right. Well, that's fine. You know, we done good.
Yeah.
It's 3:20. So, guys, I want to show you. I don't have much to say about Windows 11. I need to warn you. Somebody got a hold of the leaked ISO. This person didn't have to look very hard to find like 3,000 examples of it, and downloaded the ISO into a VM and just spun up a virtual machine, okay? And ran the install. Number one, the installation is absolutely identical to Windows 10.
Okay.
And so the installation's the same. File structure, all the inner components are the same. There's still CMD. I was actually worried that maybe the command prompt might have been dumped in Windows 11. We gone straight to
PowerShell.
PowerShell, but even that's all still there. So let me see if I can actually do this. Hang on, burp. So, and guys, again, because this isn't activated, I don't have really pretty. But one of the things you'll notice, I don't know, Scott, have you looked at this? You see the everything's kind of moved around a little bit. My mouse is a little.
Your mouse is
gone.
Painful.
Yeah, tell me about it. I can do this. So that's not Windows 11. That's Windows 10 in the host. I'm actually kind of running in a window right now.
Yeah.
So what's important is there's no start button. One more time, guys. That start button in the lower left-hand corner, that's from the, I'm running in a window, okay? I don't want to run full screen because I don't know necessarily how to easily get it back out.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right? And you see it's pretty icons more than anything else. Control panel is still there. And, but a lot of the stuff I had to just do a run to get to. So a lot of times I would just do this, and oh God, this is so small. It was a lot easier to do this on a bigger screen. But the bottom line is that run was still there, so I could still get to CMD. All the old commands are there. Control panel is still there; it hasn't changed. The reality is that as far as I'm concerned, this Windows 11 is a cosmetic change only. I literally can't find anything new in there. Now, granted, did I spend 7 hours, deep drilling? I did not. And I also counted on other people's research who kind of all came up to the same thing. The subreddit for Windows 11 is just a bunch of people. Like the most posts is when you first install Windows 11, it comes up with a square window. Remember how the window's always been at an angle? Mm-hmm. So it's a perfectly square window. And that was the hot topic.
Wow. Okay.
So,
yeah. In fact, I mean, Dave is mentioning that people dislike the central location of the task panel. They don't like rounded edges to the windows. They're a little too Mac-like. Okay.
I'm not overly
change.
impressed, but the thing is you can't not upgrade, right?
Right.
So we're all just going to use it. I don't understand what Microsoft's motivation is to make gross changes yet again to interface. Did we not learn our lesson on Windows 8? I mean, that was, remember?
I do
Oh my
remember.
God.
I think I was the only person on the planet that actually liked Windows 8.
Well, Windows 8, for the record, I still think Windows 8 on a smart device
Oh yeah,
was
perfect.
absolutely amazing.
Perfect, yeah.
It's unfortunate that that didn't really kick in as much as it should have. Just once again, Microsoft and marketing, good God. What goodness comes from changing the interface? What are they think we're going to increase our productivity 75%? Or yeah, I don't get it. Is it fresh and new? I need a start button. Okay, I gotta have my start button. I guess, and we do have one. It's just in a weird, more centralized place. But Michael Smyer did bring something up that was, he's reading the same articles I am, and that is when Windows 10 came out, it was treated as a cosmetic update as well to 8.1, and that over time, things started to get in there and really kick in.
Right.
So hopefully we'll be seeing the same thing.
Yeah, what I'd like to see with Windows 11 is what they changed, as Bob Noob asked, what's different, right? Aside from the cosmetic stuff, I want to see what in the underlying code of the operating system, whether there are any improvements.
I looked at all the critical configuration stuff. I couldn't find anything. Resource monitor still there, device manager. Even one of my greatest complaints about Windows 10 is that Windows 10, with all these updates we've had over the last, 5 years now, is that they kept pulling stuff from the control panel
and sticking it into settings.
And sticking it into settings without any announcement, right? So suddenly magically things would disappear from control panel, and I'd be in the middle of an instructor-led class. Okay, kids, so we go into the control. Oh God, it's gone. Whatever X is.
Right.
Make a fool out of myself.
Caught me in my last class too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did not see any of that.
Okay.
Now again, it's not like I went through every little single thing. There's a certain point where I don't worry about, COM settings and things like that, right? But, yeah, we'll see. It is pretty.
Yeah.
Even graphics configuration, resolutions, scaling, it's all the same.
Yes.
So I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to let you down with Windows 11, but I'm letting you down. It's not as exciting as it could have been.
Right. So let's go back to questions.
Okay.
321, David Mohan asks, what's the difference between port speed and duplexing? It's vastly different.
I'm not even sure why you'd put those in the same
sentence. Comparative.
Oh, look, Dr. Quinn's on. Port speed and duplexing.
So this is something that, okay.
So,
no, he's asking the Network Plus question, which is things that you configure on a port, like on a switch. You would configure, for example, the port speed. Normally all this stuff is auto-sensing these days, and it's irrelevant.
Oh, I see where you're going.
But the port speed on a gigabit switch, for example, can be downgraded to 100 megabit for fast Ethernet or 10 megabit in case you have some really ancient persnickety device that absolutely has to have a 10 megabit per second connection. I imagine there is some proprietary stuff in somebody's industrial control system or whatever that still needs that really old connection. So then you would go into the switch port settings and change the speed of the port. Duplexing does the same kind of thing. Every switch and every device these days is full duplex, meaning they can send and receive at the same time. Half duplex means you can send or receive, but not at the same time. That's how wireless works, for example. But with wired networks, they're all duplex. But some very old devices required half duplex settings, and you would go in, change the switch port setting so it goes to half duplex instead of full duplex. Again, these are almost theoretical at this point as far as when you would ever do that in the real world, but you will see a question like that on the exam. And this is Network Plus.
You're not going to find anything that does not duplexed anymore.
Those
days are just completely over.
Absolutely, those days are totally over. And again,
and
only showing up. Only showing up.
So
on
I'm
an
actually
exam.
hustling, trying to find
The duplex settings.
if they even exist.
I think if you like accessed your switch itself specifically, that might be easier to find because that's where you'd make the changes.
So this, the network card that's in the system that we're producing from, I just went into the, from Device Manager, I went to the network card settings, and there is still an option. I don't know, let's see if this will show up. Let's take a chance. Let's see how this works. And there is still an option in there for speed settings,
Right.
including duplex and half duplex. So at least for, but can you do, I got to move it off there. I can't see it. Sorry, guys. I got to look at it over on my screen. So auto negotiate. There is a 100 megabit per second half duplex. Because 100 base TX, which eventually became the 100 base T standard, does not work half duplex. So I don't even know what that is. So the 1 gigabit setting is only full duplex. You can't change that. 10 megabit per second, you can go to half duplex. That makes sense. I wonder if that's like 100 base T4 or something weird like that. I don't know. So let's make sure I'm answering his question.
Oh, I already moved off it. Sorry.
Well, I
Oh,
forgot.
it's here. What is the difference between?
Okay, port speed means how fast the data is going back and forth, and duplex means whether we can both talk or not at the same time.
Right.
Moving on, Scott.
Moving on. So at 327, Tyrone Jason Dizon. Hi, Mike. If the CompTIA A Plus did not update their content, and if I pass my Core 2 this year and makes me certified, will that make my certificate valid for 6 years? No.
No.
3 years from the time you take
First
it.
of all, they will update. They update every 3 years like clockwork.
They have to.
One. There are industry standards that require them to update, so that wouldn't even happen in that case. So you're Tyron, the situation you're describing to me can't happen. And by the way, that's not just CompTIA. Just about every certifying body updates every 3 years. And this comes from the old Department of Defense 8570, which then changed into the 8420.
I don't know.
I don't know either. And then the European ISO 27001 standard, which requires updates every 3 years. Bob Noob at 327. Do you guys make more money on a general printer problem or a general PC problem? Well, I charge by the hour, so, whichever takes longer.
Right.
Dave Rush is mentioning AWS updates annually. Yeah, so the rules require every 3 years, but AWS is changing so quickly, it would make sense that they're updating every year.
Right. So Peter Hunt at 328 asks, how do you know if your workstation can use a certain type of RAM? For example, CL19, CL17, etc.
So Peter Hunt, that's going to be, don't mess with these low latency RAMs. It's more important than ever. I mean, RAM latency is going up. Speed's improving,
right.
But latency, we're seeing, CL ratings, God bless it, CAS latch, right? Isn't that what CL stands for? That can be at like 30. The bottom line is, read the motherboard book. The motherboard book is always the place to go. You always go to the motherboard book.
You could also just look it up online and
the
type in the
motherboard book,
book,
whether you have a
whether you
physical
have it,
one or
yeah.
a.
You can also try PCPartPicker.com. If you can find your specific motherboard, it'll show you precisely the kind of RAM that it goes with. Wow, okay.
MacMa at 329. Is Total SEM Security Plus updated for 601? No. Well,
yes.
What does he mean? Is it updated? You talk about videos? The books have been out now for a while.
Questions are updated.
Questions are updated. So I guess he's talking about videos? MacMa at 329.
Right.
We're literally uploading as we speak. Yeah, I don't know exactly when, and I haven't straight up asked the post-production people.
I'll harass them.
Yeah, so Dave's saying CL is column latency. It's column address strobe latency, Dave. Da-da-da. USA Health Reform my dates have been with Neil Anderson.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. USA Health.
USA Health Insurance Reform.
He's moving on to CCNA. Good for you, man.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah,
That's
excellent.
awesome. The thing about, so Not a D, of course, had
And
HW
S.
Info.
McBaugh is clarifying he is asking about the videos.
Okay. Not a D posted a couple of good utilities in HW Info 64 and CPU Z. The question and yes, those are great tools and we use them all the time. You have to have the RAM in the system to be able to, and a copy of Windows loaded to be able to use those. So the question is when you're building a system, I've just got a motherboard and I need to know what kind of RAM it supports before I spend my money. That's when going out to the motherboard manual or to PC Part Picker or just a random internet search will help.
So USA Health Insurance Reform, because I've been doing all this studying on trying to come up with a really good way of really teaching software-defined networking, right? Mm-hmm. So I got on this sidebar where you've got all these Cisco heads who are starting to say things like, is the CCIE still worth it? In a world where it's all turning into software, do we need CCIE? And the answer is yes. What people forget is that we're the folks who are going to be manning the big data farms. We're the ones who are going to be there. Sure, somebody who's far away can be, doing whatever they want to with their network, but we're the ones who are going to be in the data centers. We're the ones who's going to be updating, maintaining this stuff. So Cisco is extremely relevant. But there is an argument for this whole other class of network technicians who support cloud-based data centers. Because there's a big difference looking at that switch, whether you're physically in front of it or whether you're using some type of software controller to deal with it and just doing the backplane.
Okay.
Yeah. Since these are interesting times, that's for sure. All right, looks like questions have run out, huh? That's all right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so USA Health Insurance Bureau. I was told by Ethical Hacker, maybe don't go past CCNA to do more advanced Cisco stuff unless you're sure you want to do networking in depth. Absolutely, that's just what I said. USA Health Insurance Reform and me are on the same page on that.
Nameless finally gets here. Now we can do the show.
Nameless is right here. Okay, guys, let's repeat everything from the beginning. Oh, goodness. David Mohan, what's the difference between SIP and H323? H323 is a codec for sound and audio, and SIP, oh God, it's been a while since I've done this with VoIP. SIP runs underneath, I guess SIP could actually run underneath H323 as well. SIP is a protocol that's allowed to use voice and video, and the SIP handles the actual handshake and connection, and then SIP is done. And it relies on other protocols like H323.
Yeah, SIP is the
Session Initiation Protocol.
right. Yep.
Yeah, Dave was agreeing with me. There we go. Okay, good.
Awesome.
All right. All right, well, guys, let's go ahead and start wrapping it up, guys. Do keep in mind that we have the Discord channel. That's Jose Braden's channel, and Scott and I do jump up in there every now and then. You're welcome to do that. I'm going to... was it David Mohan who asked about software-defined networking? I forgot who it was. Anyway, I'm literally in the midst of developing what I think is an earth-shattering new way to look at SDN, and that's going to be a couple weeks before I'm developed. But I will tell you this: the first people who's ever going to hear it's going to be right here.
Awesome.
You guys do understand that I use you as my guinea pigs on technical learning theory and stuff like that. Mark Wheeler, are there competitions for practice questions? And Alex Aston, no trivia. Guys, there's no practice questions today. There's no competition today. I promise we'll do it on Wednesday. We're not doing it today because I've got no way to award you if anybody wins. And I'm just not going to start that. We're a little mom and pop company, guys. We're not like, God, I said Enron. We're not ExxonMobil. And the gal who does all this is on vacation, so I apologize. I'm not going to do a competition today. I promise, Scouts Honor, I'll do it on Wednesday. You're gone. This is your last one.
This is, yeah.
You're out of here.
Until the end of August.
All right, man. Well, we'll have fun without you.
I know. So, Elbow, I don't remember how much I paid for my 3600X. A couple $100.
What's a 3600X? The router?
An AMD CPU. The Ryzen 3600X.
Wow. I never even think about 300 series. I mean, they're sure. Okay.
It's a rocking CPU, man.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you all for participating, and we look forward to seeing you on Discord after the show. And
yes, I'm going to be jumping on Discord as well for a few minutes just to say hello. What time is it now? It's 3:40. So give me about 15 minutes, and I'll get on there as well. And I think that's about it. Other than that, guys, we'll see you on Wednesday. Don't forget Dave on Friday. And we're out the door here, so we will talk to you all again
soon.
Real soon.
Oh, yeah.
Ready?
I'm ready. My final.
You got this is your last one.
I know. This is it. This is the wave. Here we go.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care, friends.